Hello, hello.
How are you?
Good. Are you in Florida?
Shh.
Oh,
I am.
hi, Faith.
Hi, Faith.
Well, we're back in Cole, Maryland. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sandy.
Hi.
Oh, I have to let two more in. Here we go. Dorcas. Okay. Check. Okay. All righty. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Kim.
Hello. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hello.
Hey, Dorcas.
No.
Get everybody to shout out. Hey,
Hey.
how's everybody's Friday going? Good?
Hey guys, good.
Good.
Yeah, it's
Great.
going good.
Okay. Greg, are you in with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but not see you.
No, that's because I didn't turn my camera on.
There you are. Okay. All righty. Well, welcome back to the Advanced Writers Circle. All of you have been here before, so you're getting used to the format, let's just say. I have something to talk about as usual, second half, but or we'll dive into it when we're ready, but I would just like to go around and see if anybody has any questions. So we've been talking about publishing, self-publishing on Amazon and Ingram Spark as a new venture, and talking about some marketing as well in the sessions just this year. We've only had two, right? So this is number 3. So does anybody have any questions about anything at all? Because great.
I keep forgetting how to raise my hand in this
Do
thing.
that, or you can do the fancy,
Yeah.
little icon.
We had talked about this one time before, Michelle. After you come up live on Kindle Direct Publishing, how long does it take to get to Barnes and Noble, etc.?
Have you checked your book and it hasn't
I
popped up
have.
and it's not on there yet?
Yes, I don't know if there's something I'm supposed to be doing.
No, it's a process, and the more copies you sell and reviews you get, it pushes the process through faster. But there's the only
So
other
the
thing you
more
can do, and the people do answer the phone at Amazon, you have a particular phone number to call as an author, because they have that whole author division. And you can tell them, you can ask them about that yes, we had expanded distribution and you have not seen it on Barnes and Noble. Is there any way they can, expedite that?
Okay, yeah, that'd be helpful.
It sometimes takes anywhere between 1 or 2 weeks and 4 to 6 weeks. Now it's been about in
Yeah,
that
we're
6-week range now.
we're at 4 or 5 at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say give them a call next week if you don't see it, and let me know, and I can call them as well.
Okay, very good.
All right. It took a long time for my books to appear finally on christianbook.com. And it was a matter of it's like a process where, your books pick up traction and then they, the other, like Barnes and Noble picks it up. It took a while, but my books actually come up on Walmart and Target. And you know what? I was with a hybrid publisher and they never did tell me this. And I was like shopping on Kobo, which is Walmart's ebooks. And I saw my book and I thought, wow, I'm in Walmart. Never was told. So check every once in a while. Kobo is Walmart. Target is, I'm not sure. But it should appear on all the ebook channels as well.
Okay.
So, okay. Well, we'll keep on top of that. Thank you for asking that question. Anybody else have any questions about anything at all? Sandy.
Yes, I was trying to find your interview with Linda Evans Shepherd, and the link did not bring up your interview. So if
Thank
you
you.
could get that to me, I'm eager to listen to it.
It is now on my social media. So here's the thing.
Okay,
You had to have iHeartRadio, and I didn't realize that until I posted it on my social media. So I was on an interview for the rest of you that might not be aware. And you know what? I'm going to share all of these podcasts. I was just actually compiling all of my media, TV interviews, radio interviews, podcasts, um, over time because I entered this marketing awards. It's called the Christian, it's called CAN, and it's a division of CIPA, which is Christian Independent Publishers Association. And I'm a finalist for the award this year in that with the Wise Man, but also CAN is for marketing efforts. And they actually, the top prize is $1,500 worth of publicity through Jones agency, and they're a top publicist. In fact, I talked to them and they couldn't take me on because they were full at the time with a bank of authors. So there are good prizes out there to be had. I've won cash prizes for entering contests. So back to your question, I realized you had to have an iHeart account, but then Linda did post the link on her social media, which I shared just today. So you can go on my Facebook now and see that link. And if you want to listen to the whole thing, thank you for asking that. I have a scratchy throat. Sorry. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? The more you get out there, look for podcasts in your field. For me, it's usually like Christian author podcasts or even author podcasts. I've been on speaking shows. When I was a client of David Newman, who's a speaking coach, he had me on his show. So anywhere that asks, I've been on Main Street Podcast, which is in Harford County, Maryland, the little podcast, but they have a lot of listeners in their local area. And I was like a home, they interviewed me as a hometown author type of thing. So whenever you can check your local newspapers, magazines. Faith, I'm looking at you right now, and I think of the Cecil Whig, which is a small newspaper. And unfortunately, a lot of newspapers are fading in their print, but they have the online versions. And they still put out a print paper. They came out to my house, did a whole interview, did a full page article with pictures. You never know. And you can't pay for that kind of advertising. So free publicity is awesome.
Yeah, Jane told me to let her know, Jane Marshall told me to let her know when the book is ready to come out.
Which is in my hands, and we're working on it. Okay.
We're working on it.
Yes. And then you can take it on to when you go to conferences, if they let you do that. Some do, some don't. And then start entering it in the contest. Right. It has to be published first on it. Anybody else have any questions about anything?
I took your suggestion and went ahead and republished all of my books on Amazon. So now I'm on Amazon and Ingram Spark.
Yay!
They're up and published and selling.
So all of you need to just go in there and review it. So here's the thing with these reviews. You have each other's emails. A couple of you have been reviewing each other, but you all need to do it because first of all, it doesn't cost anything. Second, except 2 minutes of your time, really. All you have to do, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about your back cover copy. Some of you already have it and have published, like Greg, but most of you, and Faith, who's ready to publish, still not too late to revise yours, Faith, if you want to. And we'll take a look at all of your back cover copy or synopses, because some of you haven't been published yet, this next book that you're working on. And I think we can help each other. But all you have to do for a review really is read the synopsis, maybe read the first few pages. You can buy a copy or you can ask the author for a PDF copy. We do that to build reviews, send out what they call advanced readers copies, the PDF if it's available. And if it's not, well, you kind of do have to wait till that's done so that if one of you wants to read the whole book, but what I'm trying to say is, and I'm not being like shady or anything, but we don't have time to read the whole book for everybody, right? I mean, really, I don't. I read them because I'm your editor, possibly, but when I go to review a book, I'll just kind of skim through it. I'll read what it's about. I'll skim through it. Heck, Kirk Cameron didn't read my book when he endorsed it. He said, "What do you want me to say?" And I said it. No lie. But it's okay. People like Kirk Cameron are doing this. I sent him the synopsis. I sent him the PDF copy for what it's worth. He probably didn't read it. And I told him, well, I'd like you to say this. And he's like, done, say that. And, you know, but for reviews like such as you post yourself, you give it 4 or 5 stars, then you write something clever like a catchy, you know, rip from the headlines or riveting or one of the best novels I've read lately, whatever you want to say. And or books or nonfiction books or books on leadership or books on, you know, whatever you want to say in that tagline. You could just say powerful, one word, that's fine too. And then you post a sentence or two, and it's more about the quantity. I hate to say it. I mean, you don't want 1, 2, or 3-star reviews for each other. Just saying. I got a 3-star review from somebody, and the others were saying, no, she shouldn't have posted that, because if you're not going to post something great, don't post anything for each other, right? There's something good you can say, and you give it 4 or 5 stars, bam. It's more about the number of those reviews. So, you know, you don't have to overanalyze or repeat what the book's about in your review. You just get the gist of it. Now, I said that to a friend of mine, and she said, really? Like, you don't want me to read the whole book? And I said, well, I'm just saying you don't have to. Of course, I want you to, but, you know, a review. So it's been a year now, no review. And I wish I had just told her, you know what, I really just need you to write something. Like, it's one of my best friends, like, just freaking write something, right? Sorry, I get excited about this because we need to build them. Okay, so deal? We're all going to review each other's books, right?
Yeah.
Except that I'm disqualified from reading all the books I helped get published because my name's in those spider webs somewhere. Okay, enough on that. Yeah.
Yeah, just one other thing. Okay, let me just say one thing about what I've learned about publishing a book, or, you know, about to publish a book, is that we know a lot about a lot in this world because of the internet, right? No one knows anything about publishing. The average bear does not know anything. It is a velvet curtain, and the publishing world is behind it. So the average bear does not know a thing about why it's important to write reviews. Everything that you're saying, I find myself now giving an education to people about, you don't know anything about publishing, so let me tell you in one sentence. This is why I need it. So I have found that this is our tribe on this call right now, but beyond that, there's a lot of people that don't know. And also another thing too, and Greg and Jeff know this. In fact, I have this right here. I'm actually talking about Greg's book, okay? And I'm talking about Jeff. Jeff and I are new best friends too. But let me just say one thing. I'm very passionate about business and leadership and helping other people and development and all that. That's my world. I think it's Greg's world, and I think it's Jeff's world. So in my world, I'm not real comfortable, walking around with my book, but I'll talk about Greg's book, and I'll talk about Jeff and what he wants to do. So I'm always promoting them anyway. So it is a book review that's really, really important. But for those who are, for instance, in the same genre as Michelle, I'm hoping that other people say, you know, I just came out with a book, but wow, you should also read Michelle's book. So it's not a review that we see, but it's up to this tribe to try to lift that heavy velvet curtain and give them a glimpse of what this publishing world is like, because there's no point of reference from anyone. They have no idea what KDP is. They have no idea the difference between self-publishing, but yet we're still asking. I mean, if I hear one more time from someone, send me a signed copy. Send me a signed copy. I'm like, all right, well, so, okay, but this is what I want from you. So I'm
dollars
not
or
afraid to
whatever.
ask that. I need it, right?
Well,
Anyway, that's all I wanted to
are
say.
you saying people are asking for free signed copies versus?
All the time. It's, you know,
And
I
Kathy's
just
shaking
think
her
of
head
Hillary-
too. Actually,
I
I've
think
had a
of
couple
Hillary
people
Clinton.
at book signings stand around thinking I'm going to hand them something free. They have no idea. You're right. How much work we put into this, how proprietary it is. It's like a story that we, you know, in the case of a novel, that we created out of nothing. Or
no
in
idea.
your case, for a business book, just as much, it's your expertise on a plate that you're giving out that's worth thousands of dollars, and they want it free.
I mean, I have to say that when one of my critique groups, somebody brought a visitor, and we brought some of our books in so that other people could see them, and that were in our critique group. She wanted a free copy in order to post a review. A visitor. I was shocked.
This, you know what? Well, being shocked, I think, is part of being an author. And I'll let everyone on this, I'll let everyone on this call in on something that's going to give you a big perspective. Okay. I'm an executive coach. I've been doing this for a really long time. I'm successful at what I do. If I were to coach one person on everything in my book, which is 52 scenarios and 52, I did the math. I would have to charge them $240,000 for my services. So all of you, and I'm picking on Greg and Jeff because I understand their world. We're business people. I know the price tags attached to that, but be very clear that they think we're like Michelle Obama or someone famous who wrote a book, and UPS backs up a room full of free copies that we get to hand out. They have no idea.
And you're making millions of dollars.
Oh, they think I'm loaded.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
think I'm loaded. Anyway, I had to say that.
Everybody
I'm done.
you're right. The general world thinks that, well, in a good way, they think they like raise us on a pedestal. You're an author. I mean, it's getting less and less because there are more and more authors, obviously. And but in general, I think it elevates. That's why business owners or experts in various fields write a book, because that elevates their expertise. And novelists, on our part, we just can't not tell a good story, and it's on our hearts and we want to tell it, whether it's to help readers or going through something similar to what we did, or just want to read a good entertaining story and hope to get it, in my case, made into a movie. That's it's the dream on our hearts and we want to get it out there, but never, but people are clueless, really. You're right, Kim. Now, I hope you meant people don't know anything about publishing except me, and this, and even I don't know it all, obviously, but and it's constantly changing. I mean, businesses are going out of business, publishers, they're consolidating, they're, merging or whatever. They're changing their rules. Here's another thing. So they're also having, and there's a lot of, small publishers cropping up, hybrid publishers, and they all have different rules. And there are people like me out there that say they're publishers. I would never say I'm a publisher. I can help you get self-published, but that's about it. Because my expertise lies more in writing, editing, marketing. However, I've done this, so I can do it again, and I can lend what I do know to you. But recently, a client of mine, and she hasn't been able to make these events writer circles. Her book that she's trying to get traditionally published is called Wife Mother Spy, and she was a CIA agent and had 5 children, and they had to get up and go at a moment's notice all over the world, Africa, Europe, you name it. And it was a tough life because she was like a mother. I'll ask you to mute. Okay, thanks. So anyway, long story short, she asked me about this hybrid that she found out about, and I looked into it for her. It's a division of Simon and Schuster called Forefront. Or oh gosh, now I just forgot it. I can get it to you, but there are some heavy hitters that have been published by Forefront, and I'm pretty sure it's Forefront. And John Maxwell, Donald Trump. There was a big novelist that I think Karen Kingsbury. Yeah, Karen Kingsbury, which is in my realm. And I was like very intrigued, but it's a hybrid offshoot that she's going to have to pay money for. So she has an interview with them coming up, and I'll pick her brain and let you know next time how much it's actually going to cost to publish her book. But it does have that air of traditional, publishing. So, they're coming up, and this was news to me. I had never heard of them before, but when I looked into it, I was like, hey, there you go. But have no fear. Even if you self-published on Amazon and don't do anything else, as Greg has done and Kim has done, and some of you are going to do, you can still be discovered, but you have to do all that heavy lifting marketing work to get noticed. And then, I mean, it's happened for Jack Canfield, William Paul Young, Stephen King self-published a book. Of course, he was already well known, so he doesn't count. But E.L. James of 50 Shades of Grey. There are many out there who have self-published first, but their books took off. They had that magic something, and they put the pedal to the metal with their own marketing and publicity, that they got discovered, and then a traditional publisher can come in like Simon and Schuster and pick you up. So, and it's never too early and never too late to do marketing, but you have to get on it. And many authors don't have the time or the knowledge, or, even I get all this publicity and author interviews all the time, but I haven't made it to that level yet of Karen Kingsbury. I'm getting there, but it's a time process. And I'm hoping my next book, which is totally out of this genre, that's new, is going to do the trick. The more we know, the more we know. We keep writing books. We hope that next one is going to land us on the Today Show.
You never know.
You never know. Okay.
I know. I think my name is not on the author list. I think it got left off, but I put my website on my name label
Okay.
for right here. So if you want to see what books I have published as
And I
far
would
as reviews or
definitely
anything like that.
Thank you, Kathy. Sorry about that.
That's okay. There are people that are adding to, and
Yes, and we're adding to this group, by the way. A couple are coming on board very soon.
Cool.
Probably by the next time. So that's good news. Okay, so what I'd like to talk about in this second half hour is your back book cover copy. So I call it a synopsis or back book cover copy. It's basically your synopsis and your bio on the back book cover, a short version of your bio. And it's meant to grab the reader and make them want to read the book. So it's like the second most part of, think about real estate. It's the second best piece of real estate you have as an author. So your first is the cover, which better have a good title and a, compelling look to it that makes people want to turn it over to visit your second piece of real estate, which is your back book cover. Then your third piece of real estate is the book itself, but mainly the first few pages. They may stand in Barnes and Noble and read that, the first page or two, and then they decide to either buy the book or not. That same synopsis, I always say it's your second most important piece of writing next to your book, also goes on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Goodreads and your website and wherever books are sold, local bookstores. So it's why people decide to read the book. And it should be as clever and catchy and compelling as possible. Now, I turned to an author, James Rubart, who has written several books in my genre. They're not reimaginings of Bible stories, but they're edgy Christian fiction. They're suspense novels that have gotten a lot of traction. He's spoken at, a lot of conferences, and I actually met him at a conference. And so I asked him, and I actually took a course by him and Thomas Umstead, who do a lot of marketing courses online. Anyway, I paid him about, I think it was $300 to just do my synopsis, redo it. I thought I had it well done. I mean, I'm a writer, a book coach, an editor, and such. But I always feel like it's helpful, just like I would not edit my own books, to get another pair of eyes on it. So that's part of the service I do when I help you either edit your book or publish your book. You get it where you can, and then I can take it further to, and the more I do this over the years, the better I get. So anyway, I want you, who here has written a synopsis for the book they're writing right now or just recently published? Obviously, Greg, you have. Okay, Dorcas, Sandy, Faith, you have your back book cover done. Kathy, you have. Jeff, you have not? Kind of, sort of?
Well, sort of. I guess I sent you one at one point when we
Okay.
first were studying, but that was the only one I've done.
Okay. I want you, as your homework for the next time, if I don't call on you now or read yours, to come back with it. You can even take another stab at it and polish it a little bit to get it exactly where it needs to be. Okay. So, Greg, this is, although you can always re-edit your book in Amazon, but Kim, I'm going to have you, since you have his book handy, although it's right up on my shelf, I want you to, but we're going to start with mine. I'm going to be the guinea pig, and I'm going to show you how Jim Rubart edited my back book cover copy. I always say to make it sing. Like, yes, it was good as I wrote it. Yes, it's compelling, but to make it sing. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and do mine, and then we're going to do Greg's. And when I say we're going to do them, I mean we're going to critique them, offer suggestions on how to make them better. If you want, I think we could also put them in the chat box. I'm going to save this chat box. I save them all, but in this case, if you can copy and paste, and maybe next time, if you're not caught on today, next time to put them in the chat box as well, so that we can take those later and look at them and edit them for each other. So you're right, Kim, perfect words, that we are a tribe and we can help each other. And that's what we're here to do. So let me just call up mine. Okay. I have a couple things to share. So this is the first draft that I sent to Elk Lake Publishing. And these are endorsements. I boiled it down to just Kirk Cameron's, and you'll see that, but this is the part I want to read. Okay, and then I'm going to read my editor's final copy. Okay. Tagline is the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Finn Mitchell has grown up in the shadow of his father, U.S. President Leif Mitchell, but is now ready to step into the limelight in his own right after successfully vying with his stepbrother to become the newest member of the U.S. Supreme Court, which is poised to hear a landmark abortion issue case that goes beyond Roe v. Wade. Along his journey, Finn has also accumulated much in addition to his judicial prowess. Wealth beyond most men's wildest dreams, women who fawn over his handsome good looks and charming ways, and a secret empire involving a virtual reality tourism attraction on his private island that is about to explode. I just realized that my editor is correct in saying I write in long sentences. But Finn's desire for more is daunting, and he finally realizes you can't always get everything you want, even if you are one of the wisest, wealthiest, most attractive, successful men on earth. And you can't fill the God-shaped hole in your soul with all the riches of the universe. An epic contemporary suspense based on the Bible's Book of Solomon, the wise man will bring to light the question, what good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? And then there's my short bio. Okay, now I realize reading that out loud to myself where it needed to be fixed in the first place, but I just felt like I was kind of done. We all get to that point. We're done with the book. If I have to read it again, I'm going to die, or I'm going to, okay, that's dramatic. I'm going to scream because I cannot read it again. I just cannot. I usually like reading the fourth or fifth draft and the final, maybe a sixth time, but beyond that, I don't enjoy it. I can't do it. I just can't do it. So that's when it has to go to an editor. Same with this back book cover copy. I thought, you know what? This is good, but it's just not there yet. Okay. So let me share his version. Now I want to show you with the red marks, and then I'm going to show you without them. Okay. So these are all the red marks. Even like his Kirk Cameron actor was fine enough, right? And so there was a good bit of these. You can see that, right? So I'm going to go under review and hit no markup and read this. And shorter is always better when it comes to this. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Finn Mitchell has grown up in the shadow of his father, U.S. President Leif Mitchell, period. But now it's Finn's turn to shine as he becomes the newest member of the U.S. Supreme Court, which is poised to hear a landmark abortion issue case, should have got rid of the word issue, that could reverse Roe v. Wade. Oops, I have a typo there. Okay. In addition to his judicial prowess, Finn has accumulated a small, I spelled this wrong because I typed it for this class, sorry. Let me start over. In addition to his judicial prowess, Finn has accumulated a small fortune, is a brilliant, handsome charmer who women adore, and owns an exclusive tourist island that houses a wildly successful virtual reality empire. The only problem? Finn's life is about to explode. His desire for more is daunting, yet he discovers you can't always get everything you want, even if you are one of the wisest, wealthiest, most attractive men on earth. And it might be too, sorry, typo again. It might be too late for his soul to be saved. Now, isn't that powerful? The only problem, his life is about to explode. And it might be too late for his soul to be saved. Jim wrote those words, and I was like, wow, that made all the difference. An epic contemporary suspense based on the Bible's Book of Solomon, the wise man will bring to light the question, what good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? I had to go back and find his copy and you know, bring it up as a in track changes. So last but not least, that's what went on the back book cover, which has seen several versions. I've had to edit it a few times, and my editor said, this is your last version, and I finally edited it for, the thing is, all this should happen before it gets published, but I was in a hurry to get that published because I saw on the horizon the Roe v. Wade overturn case, and that was in the headlines, and I wanted to capitalize on that. My husband always says, slow down, take your time. And I'm like, go, go, go. And sometimes there's a reason for that. Sometimes there are pros and cons to that. But in this case, that's why I entered these marketing awards, because I got a lot of play in tying into those headlines. So, did we lose Jeff? We did. I didn't take a picture of us today, but that's okay. Okay, so Greg, do you mind if Kim reads your book cover copy?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I actually, I found it in my file, so I will post it to the chat.
Okay. And we can read along as she reads it. We'll save it.
And I just saw that
mean-
Jeff had to leave.
Oh, Jeff had to leave early for the airport. Okay, he had to take his son to the airport. Okay, Kim.
Yeah, the formatting's obviously different, but
Okay, yes, the bullets are different and stuff. Okay,
Are you sure you don't mind me? You can do this. I don't want to steal your thunder.
no, go.
maybe it'll be good hearing another voice read it.
Okay, you want me to read the whole thing?
And Kim is a master at marketing as well. Okay.
You
Yeah,
want me to read all this?
yes. Oh, but
Okay.
the bio.
No bio. Okay. Great picture of you, Greg, I have to say.
Make sure you get a
Was
professional
professional-
picture, people. Okay.
It was
Okay.
professionally done and photoshopped, okay?
Okay. Not that any of you care, but I want to get mine done for my next book. But I'm going to try to see if they can Photoshop me into looking like Jennifer Aniston. But I don't know if that can happen. Okay. All right.
They photoshopped out my wrinkles too.
Okay. Are you a manager? Have you ever experienced unmotivated or demoralized employees, employees who don't consistently do their jobs correctly, managers who don't communicate clearly, or employees who complain about confusing or non-existent communication? Beautiful strategies that are never thoughtfully translated to tactical plans and then executed, or an organization that tolerates mediocrity. And I just want to show a visual. Okay, so I just read this part, and this is bulleted, and now I'm going to be reading more text. I like how you broke that out. Trial and error is unfortunately a tried and distressingly not true method of training managers. Do you feel like you're drowning in management problems? Management Rescue presents a flexible, adaptable, and durable framework to effectively navigate typical management headaches. It's a practical how-to book that allows you to map out solutions to some of the most common management problems before reacting in error. Read on to find a compelling management approach shaped by the best minds in business history. It could be a real life saver, exclamation point. And
I
then
love
the-
that last line because it ties into
Love
the
it.
cover. Show the cover again. So and the title, management. It could be a real lifesaver. Greg wrote that. And I think that was a great,
But
um,
actually, my wife wrote that.
oh, she's a
Full,
very
dis-
smart.
full disclosure, Kathleen wrote that.
So, do you want to explain anything, Greg, or do you want just to get feedback first? We'll let you explain.
Feedback would be great because it's interesting listening to someone else read it. Because I wrote it and read it and rewrote it, and it's just different hearing somebody else read it. So yeah, any feedback would be tremendously helpful.
Anybody?
Just structure. I love the bullets because it really gives a quick view, having those bulleted points. It's not about content, just structure. I like that.
And I definitely like the questions because if I'm a manager that isn't doing great, and my employees are driving me crazy, and my coworkers are driving me crazy, and my leaders driving me crazy, or something's not working and I don't know how to fix it. Like I could relate. I've been in management before. I could relate to every single one of those when I picture myself back in my career as a marketing director. I was basically a manager. I mean, a leader manager, but I could relate to every single question. I was like, yes, yes, yes. And I know my husband who's in business can relate. Yes, yes, yes. And he just took a leadership position. So I think that was powerful. And I think that was your idea. And then you had some really good, I want to say catchphrases like, okay, I'm trying to go up in the chat box again. Trial and error is unfortunately a tried and distressingly not true method. So yeah, we don't have time for that. Do you feel like you're drowning in management problems? Again, tying into the theme. Whenever you can do that with your words, that's awesome. It's flexible, adaptable, adorable. To navigate typical management headaches. I love that. It's a practical how-to book. So you hit on all the, you know, the right words, I think, in a, you know, short form way. Shaped by the best minds in business history. That's also great. Okay. Anybody else with feedback? And or you know what? As authors, we have to develop thick skin. And as Toastmasters, we do this, by the way, with evaluations, and people can be pretty harsh in Toastmasters. Let me just say that. Faith has experienced that, I know. Kathy, Kim. We want to offer, sometimes it's negative feedback, but in a constructive criticism way where we can improve. Faith, we're all learning here.
Yeah. So when I first heard that, you know, what it was speaking about, I was just like, oh no, not another leadership book, right? But because my husband and I, we have our own business, and you know, you try to do things well so the business is successful and blah blah blah, right? So I've read every self-help book there is. Well, not every, but pretty close. But as the synopsis, and Kim kept reading and reading, my ear was like, wait, yeah. Oh, uh-huh. Oh, yeah. So now I want to read it. You
Yep.
know, and so it
Here,
I
you want,
think the
you want to
biggest
see
thing,
chapter 5, Faith? I don't know if I'm holding that up right.
Hold it still.
management is such a book.
I'm a leader. Yeah.
Listen, I love being, and I always say I'm not bossy. I have leadership skills. but you know, it's so hard to have that line between being the manager or the boss or whatever and still have a good working relationship with people, because sometimes they don't know where the line is, and that's tough. And so every bullet as she was reading it, I thought, okay, you know what? I want to read this book because I want to read something that gets me, that sees me where I'm at, not preaching at me, not, you know, you know, just trying to pound something into me. I want something that is speaking the language of what I'm dealing with. And that's what it came off as.
Right.
And,
So
and Faith, do you know why you feel that way? And I am a marketer by trade, okay? But when you actually look at the back of the book, the questions, all right, that's the sell, and there's that line, and that's the tell. So his first part, it sells you.
Yeah.
That's the hook, right?
Yeah.
And the bottom part, right? But I just want to say one thing too about Greg. If that, you know, if anyone, I'm reading this book as I'm finishing my second book, and he does so much with history, and he talks about that.
and graphics that really do help.
Right, but I'm just
And I love pictures in a business book because it breaks up the.
Well, and so this is, Kim, this is an interesting point. And for those of you that are going to go talk about your book somewhere, I was talking to a guy the other day on a podcast, and I said, you know, you can't really consider yourself a professional in a field unless you know the history of the field.
Yes.
And he's like, I never thought of that before. He's an author. He's an author as well. He's written a bunch of books. He's a leadership author, Faith, specifically. He writes leadership books. And I'm like, Well, and he had also never heard of John Maxwell, which I thought was kind of surprising since he was in the leadership book field, but be that as it may. I maybe read more than I should.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Faith, for, and Kim and Greg and all of you for your participation in this round robin evaluation. And we're gonna do everybody. Now, Faith, I know you have your back book cover copy, but it's not too late. It hasn't been published yet. So do you want to read yours and then you could find it and put it in the chat, or we can, okay, first of all, let me check this chat box. So who's put one in there? Greg?
Can you hold that up? I want to see your cover.
A little
Can you
bit
see
higher,
it?
Yeah,
Faith.
raise it
A
up.
little bit
Move it
further
up.
back towards your face.
There
Okay.
you go. Got it.
Okay.
That's a picture of her, a literal drawing of her son.
Wow. Can we hear her back cover?
Yes, in one
So-
second. Okay.
Yeah, so this is
We got
this
Kathy
is,
posted.
this is a drawing. It was charcoal drawing on just a big piece of scrap paper that my son's second grade art teacher drew of him just while he was there. He used to do it for all the kids. And so I finally got a hold of him and asked him if I could use it. And he said he would be proud for it to be part, of the book. Because this is not Cody. Okay. Cody has 2 speeds, full on and faster than that. He was never quiet, and so this to me, I don't know, this picture to me, it just speaks to me. It just really does. So, but this is the back cover. Raising an Addict is a memoir of a mother's harrowing journey through her son's heroin addiction. She never saw the signs at first. Then once she did, she and her husband tried to help their son over and over until they began to realize it was never enough. The struggle of giving up control of everything in her life, including her family, was heart-wrenching. The battle of addiction became a war fought by both her and her son. Could she save her son without losing herself, or would she save herself and risk losing her son? And then my little bio.
Wow.
I worked with Faith on this, and just hearing it out loud, I like it even more.
Very powerful, Faith.
The exact word I was thinking, that giving up control sentence is powerful.
Well, it's ironic and it's funny because when I first started writing this book, it was about Cody's addiction. And by the time I got done with this book, it was about my addiction to controlling every moment of our lives. And if I wasn't in control, things were going to go wrong.
Mm.
And I had to learn to be a team with my husband and turn over control to God and let it go.
And I like the title Raising Addicts because I remember Faith wasn't sure if she should use that title. And it's like, who raises an addict? Who raises purposefully an addict? Nobody. And yet, like, that's what you try to do. I am also the mother of sons in recovery and sons and a daughter. And, you contribute to raising them when you enable them and all that good stuff. And that's what the book's about, how to break that vicious cycle. And so Faith sent myself, and I work with artists, graphic designer, the picture itself, and we took that and made it into the book cover. That's a printout, but it's going to be a lot sharper and closer. That's all for
the new one. The new one says the memoir.
Yes, has your name yes, it's pops. Okay. Well, thank you. And any feedback other than mine?
I was going to say it's both compelling and powerful because I liked how the last part, it was like you have to make a choice, you know, and that's how life is. You got to save yourself first before you can help anybody else. But it makes you want to read it, that very last part.
And it was. It still is.
A choice.
Wow.
It still is, because I still want to control things. 10 years later, he's 10 years clean. And I still, every now and again, I still want to look into his face and make sure everything's okay. And it's like, mind your business. You know, that is not your business. That's his business. So, and God will, you know, pull me back on my shirt and say, you know, just go home and, you know, make dinner or something.
I told her there's going to be a big market for this, especially
Yeah.
like in people that go to Al-Anon or self-help groups like that, that need help. So, and thank you all for your feedback. I'm going to take a quick picture of us. Ready? I'll post that on the Facebook page, and such lovely smiles. And are you all on the Facebook page?
I
I'm
think
going
so,
to
Matt.
start posting more, but I want you to be posting too, and you can post your synopsis and ask for feedback there. There's 26 of us now from all my past classes, and you know, we be the tribe on Facebook too.
Yeah.
I know I haven't posted as much over time, especially in between classes, but I will always see it and like it and respond to you when you post. Again, you're your best advocate, and you know, keep posting things. Like I had a book signing. You know, I won a contest. I published my ebook. I did my audiobook. By the way, Greg, you should do that next, and we'll talk about that in your voice. I think
Okay.
nonfiction in your own voice is good. I think, but novels sometimes are best done by, you know, novel narrators. But it's something we can talk about audiobooks next time. How's that? After we get done the synopsis part. So,
Michelle,
yeah.
Michelle, just real quick, could you back up? What's Greg doing? I got to know everything.
Well, you're going to do it too.
Read my book about control, Kim.
So when you
You know-
publish on Amazon,
Right.
they have something called ACX, and that's how you get your book on an audio book. And these days, a lot more people are listening in their car or on the plane or wherever to books. And now there's like memberships. So ACX publishes your book in audiobook and we can take the cover and make it into a little square that is the audiobook format. And it goes on Apple Books, audiobooks, and if they're Audible, which are the three main sellers of audiobooks. And you can hire a narrator and you can share royalties 50-50 so that you don't pay a dime. And
Oh,
there are
wow.
tons of narrators on there that will audition for you. Will look at your book and see any sales or reviews. So you want to have built that up first. But you have to some degree. And there's hungry narrators, just like there are hungry authors that, you know, that you can pair up, and they have to believe in you as well, and you have to believe in them. So you audition them. So let's just say 3 say, yes, I'm interested in narrating your book. So you look at their profile, just like they'll look at yours. So you'll add a profile, and they will too. And they'll do a 15-minute audition, and you'll listen to that. And if it doesn't cut it for you, then, you know, no, thank you. Thank you, but no, thank you. Until you hear one that you say, oh, okay, I like that, but I want to make these changes. So they're happy to do that. And they give you a chapter by chapter audio version of your book. You listen to each, you make changes, like maybe they messed up a word, they didn't say it right. You give them some guidelines to this too, like make sure you say it in an Irish brogue. Some are talented at various voices, some are not. I liked females all along until this last book, and I found a male, because I always felt like females did male voices, and I have a lot of dialogue from different characters. Females did male voices better than males did female, in my opinion, until this last one, and he could do anything. I've had people do like the ISIS in a Iraqi voice. I've had do the whole gamut for all my books. So I'm trying to think of other voices. There was a Southern drawl at one point in Kentucky. Most of my voices are set in the US and have American voices. But anyway, long story short, I prefer narrators. Now, there is an option to do it yourself also, but you need the right equipment and it better be professionally done. I did not feel like getting all that and doing all that. I just didn't. So even you business book, I mean, there's no rule that says you have to do it yourself. And you may want somebody to narrate it for you. And that's about it. If you prefer to get a top-notch one that hasn't like said they want to do your book and you really want them and they only accept payment, you can pay outright. I've seen anywhere between $1,000 and $10,000, literally. And then you can choose a combination of both, which is what Elk Lake did my last book. Like they interviewed a lot of people, brought in narrators. I listened to about 10. We boiled it down to this one, but he only accepted like a combination. So I had to pay him $500 plus royalty share. So all sorts of, but it can be done yourself through ACX. And I can help you, I can help you listen to the audition, give you my opinion, that type of thing.
Greg, did you say that you were going to do your own narrating?
No, I didn't. I hadn't even contemplated that.
Okay.
So
I
next
do know
step,
somebody
right?
that has somebody that has a good narration voice.
You can also do that.
Whether or not they could be convinced to do it is a different question, right? Because people are busy, but
Right.
Now, if you have somebody that knows that world, and I do have a friend that I'm getting to do The Jealous Son because my publisher didn't end up doing it and released it, and it's a whole thing. So I'm having her do that. So all of my books, including The Wise Man, are done. The Jealous Son is not, and constantly I'm getting requests for it. So she knows how to produce it and also to get it on Amazon for you, to link to your other books. So yeah, so you can do it that way as well. To get it onto not only Amazon, but onto Apple iBooks and some other venues. So I can help you with the process. I cannot do it for you. I am not a narrator. I'm not even equipped to do that, but I can connect you. And yes, you want to get it, you want to have it well done. Okay, well, that's, I'm glad we got to that. So we can look into that further. I'll send you all the link to ACX. You can explore it and we can talk about that after we get done reading all your synopses and giving feedback. Sound good? And if you want me to edit your synopsis before you read it, and that goes for all of you who are listening in to the recording and not here today live, send them to me. I will do that, and then you can read that version. And maybe that's a great idea because you have to take off. Okay, so we all have to take off. Wait, Faith is waving. We're all waving here. Bye bye. Have a great weekend, and see if you review Kim's book, she's going to blast yours out there. So how great is that? And I'll update that for you, Kathy, and anybody else. Thank you for being here, and I hope you all got something out of it. Yes?
very good.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Hey, see you guys.
All right. See ya.